In the last video, we went over a time skip after King Cold's defeat, where two time travelers, Trunks and Toma, warned Kakarot about the future against the androids, where they all die. But now, since they gave a warning, everyone has decided to train for the 3 years. But now, what will happen? Find out in this part 5 of What If Kakarot Had a Twin. So everyone training begins, with the Saiyans actually willing to work together with everyone else, especially with Kakarot and Turles. But the Saiyans aren't good. They're kinda acting like Vegeta was during the Cell arc. Not completely good, but also not completely evil either. So all the Saiyans train together, with the inclusion of Gohan and Chi-Chi, as they want to see his potential as a warrior go, due to him being a hybrid Saiyan. And the reason Chi-Chi joins them is because she wanted to. She is Kakarot's wife. And the Saiyans also see the major boost that she gets when she gets mad, and honestly kinda scares them. And as for Krillin and Tien, they actually go back to King Kai's planet. They want to see if they can improve Kaioken further and learn any new techniques. Unfortunately, King Kai tells them that they've learned everything that he can teach them, but he'll do them something better. He'll give them a special access to Otherworld to learn techniques from dead warriors that should help them improve a lot further. So Krillin and Tien accept. As some time passes, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz have great control over Super Saiyan. And as for Kakarot, he tries to help Gohan achieve Super Saiyan with Turles' help. And around this time, Toma is actually born. And when Kakarot sees him, he realizes that the other time traveler from the future was actually Turles' son. And it actually makes sense of why he looked so familiar. But Gohan does end up achieving Super Saiyan. And everyone is shocked by Gohan's power. He's actually on their level at such a young age. After the 3 years of training, androids 19 and 20 appear in the city just like normal. And eventually they do end up running into someone. It was Raditz. Raditz then powers up going into Super Saiyan and fends off against the androids, which allows the group to find them very easily. As the group arrives, they get ready to fight the androids, but then two people teleport in. It's Krillin and Ten Shinhan, using instant transmission. Everyone is confused. How did they get here? They couldn't sense their energy anywhere on Earth. They tell him it was because they were in Otherworld. Learning tons of techniques from dead warriors. They realize that they're never going to surpass them in pure strength, so they're going to surpass them in techniques. That's why they let them go against the androids first. So they let Tien and Krillin go against the androids. They both then power up, using Kaioken, up to times 50. They're only able to use this thanks to their healing from spirit control, thanks to the Yardrats that they met in Otherworld. So Krillin fights Android 19 and Tien fights Android 20. And they were able to defeat them pretty easily. As soon as Krillin realizes that the androids absorb energy using their hands, Krillin then launches the Kian Zone, cutting off both of his arms. Krillin then launches the Kian Zone at Android 19, cutting him off both of his arms. Then he uses the cloning technique and charges the Kamehameha, destroying Android 19. And while Tien's fighting Dr. Gero, he finds an opening and rips off Dr. Gero's hands too. Of course, Dr. Gero tries to run, but Tien then shoots a Dodon Ray at him, killing Dr. Gero. A little bit of time after the androids' defeat, Trunks and Toma arrive from the future, and they see the remains of what's left of the androids that they fought, and they're confused. Those aren't the androids that were in our future. Their androids are a young woman and a man, androids 17 and 18. Maybe it's because they traveled to the past that the androids ended up differently, or 17 and 18 could still be out there. But then, they feel a huge power rise out in the distance. But for some reason, the power feels like it's all of them mixed together. Nappa, Vegeta, Raditz, Krillin, Tien, Gohan, Kakarot, Chi-Chi, everyone, even King Cold. So everyone flies over there as fast as they can. And all they see is a crater with someone in it. It's a giant green bug person. He then flies up and greets everyone. He says his name is Cell, a being created by Dr. Gero, designed to absorb 17 and 18 to achieve his perfect form, which he did. Now that he's the perfect warrior, they won't be able to stop him. So that's what happened. Android 17 and 18 were here. They just wasn't awakened yet. And now Cell has absorbed them. And to note that this Cell is a little bit weaker than Canon Cell, as he doesn't have Frieza's DNA, as Frieza never really came to Earth. But he does have King Cold's energy, which does give him a bit of a boost, but not as much as Frieza's DNA would. And also Piccolo's not here, as Piccolo was never born. King Piccolo got sealed away by Kami, so Cell doesn't have Piccolo's DNA, so he can't regenerate either. But now that he's perfect, he wants to have some fun with them. He wants all of them to come at him, show their full power, and hold nothing back. He wants to fight them at full strength, so that he can prove his superiority, and especially Kakarot and Turles. He's interested in those two the most out of everybody there. And he knows their moves and their fighting style, so Cell's at an advantage. Vegeta and Nappa then turn Super Saiyan and jump at Cell, which Cell easily defends against them, taking them out one by one, and everyone's shocked by Cell's power. They might not be able to win this, but then Krillin reveals a plan to Kakarot and Turles. Cell said that he absorbed the androids, right? Well, he might have a way to separate them. If he separates them, maybe he'll become less powerful, and that'll be their chance at victory. The thing is, he needs to focus on attack and hit him with it, so Cell needs to be distracted until you can do it. So Kakarot and Turles then transform into Super Saiyan at full power and launches towards Cell. And Gohan does it too, as he didn't want to be left behind. So together, they all attack Cell. And Cell gets excited from this. This is what he wanted. Kakarot and Turles are the only ones that are able to give him the challenge. And much to his surprise, even Kakarot's son, Gohan. He never expected this kid to be around the same strength as them. And the thing is, Cell doesn't know how much power it lies between these three. But compared to the other Saiyans and the humans, they far surpass them. In fact, they're on a whole nother level between them. As soon as Cell uses his full power, he starts outmatching the Saiyans. It seems like he still is stronger than them. Cell does admit that this fight was fun, and he's satisfied that he got to prove that he was the perfect warrior, and that he's unbeatable. But now he thinks it's about time to end this. But then someone teleports behind him. It's Ten Shinhan, using instant transmission, trying to hold Cell down, trying to lock him into place. Kakarot then tries to help, grabbing onto Cell too. Then he yells at Krillin to do it. Then Krillin uses instant transmission to Cell, landing a punch on him. But Cell is unfazed by the attack. He starts laughing at Krillin, acting like that was supposed to do something. But then Cell gets a strange feeling in his body, and that feeling turns into pain, as it feels like something's being ripped away from him. But then Cell sees the androids, they're freed. But how? Krillin tells him that it was his fourth spirit vision, that he can undo fusions and absorptions. Cell then de-transforms, going back into his imperfect state. Then Turles knocks him to the air, and him, Kakarot, and Gohan charge a Kamehameha, firing it at Cell, completely obliterating him, killing him. They're all breathing heavily as they de-transform, going back into their base form. They didn't let out a sigh of relief, as they did it. They defeated him. And even though they did win, Cell was still incredibly strong. Without Krillin's fourth spirit vision, they wouldn't have won, and the Earth would have been destroyed. So they see that they still have long ways to go, getting stronger. But as they look down, they see that the androids are still unconscious. They wonder what they're going to do with them. Vegeta votes that they destroy them, and so they won't cause any trouble. But Krillin has a better idea. What if they take them to Bulma, get her to reprogram them so they won't be evil anymore? That should be better than just killing them. Plus, with their strength, they could be valuable allies in the future. Everyone was hesitant at this at first, but Kakarot actually agreed with this, and so do Turles. Vegeta scoffs at this, as he never seen Saiyans be so soft. But they just laugh at this, as they can tell that Vegeta is also changing too. They're not the only ones becoming softies. Him and the other Saiyans are as well. They're adjusting the Earth. Trunks and Toma are glad that they saved this timeline. But their timeline still hasn't changed at all. Androids are still stronger than them, and they was hoping they'd get stronger here, but they haven't. They would like to stay here longer to train with them. They would like to get back to the future as soon as possible. Turles then gets an idea. How about they take them to the Room of Spirit and Time, where they could get 1 year worth of training in a day. So they fly up to Kami's lookout, where Kakarot and Turles get an unexpected surprise. They see someone that they thought they'd never see again. It's Piccolo. Both then power up in their base and charges at him. But then he reveals that he's actually Kami. And they're actually surprised. Kami looks so much younger than he did before. And Kami explains. After hearing what he did in the future and what happened, he decided to gather the Dragon Balls and summon Shenron. And he wished that he and Piccolo were fused again, but not to let Piccolo's evilness to it. And Shenron granted his wish, and now he became this. So now he'll become an even better guardian than he was before. He won't just sit on the sidelines, he can actively help. He even put in a few months in the Room of Spirit and Time, growing his strength even more, and he even upgraded Shenron. And everyone's surprised that Kami did all of this. But then they ask him can they use the Room of Spirit and Time, which Kami gladly takes them to. First ones to go in is Turles and Toma. And once they go in, Turles tells Toma that he knows that he's his son from the future. I mean, come on, the red hair is a dead giveaway. So then they train, and as soon as a day passes, they come out in their Super Saiyan forms, showing that they got Super Saiyan Grade 4. Turles tells Kakarot that he's found something beyond Super Saiyan, and Kakarot gets interested. But they explain to everyone else about Super Saiyan Grade 4, and Vegeta and Trunks are next. And another day passes, and they also come out with Super Saiyan Grade 4. And since everyone's going in with their kid, Kakarot decides to go in with Gohan for last. But they pretty much spend some of their time training for Grade 4 Super Saiyan, and they don't have to waste as much time because Gohan already has Super Saiyan. But Kakarot sees the lost potential that Gohan has within him. He wants to help him unlock that power. So a day passed and they had come out the time chamber. Everyone could tell that they got stronger, but something's different about Gohan. He is stronger, but they can tell that Gohan's holding back something. Gohan then reveals the level beyond Super Saiyan 2. Thanks to his training in the time chamber, he was able to harness and control this power. And everyone's shocked. That Gohan has this kind of power, especially the other Saiyans. They ask Kakarot, does he have the same kind of transformation? But Kakarot tells them no, this is Gohan's power. And they're all shocked. They want this power for themselves as well. Raditz and Nappa then go in next, seeing if they can try to achieve it. After some time passed, Toma and Trunks do eventually go back into their future, and they do defeat the androids and even Cell. Thanks to everyone in the past, they have the power to protect their future. And going back into the present, Kakarot and Turles are now facing each other, getting ready to fight, as they both know that they have a new form, and they want to test it out on each other. So, they then power up. The aura of Surge surrounds them, and their hair spikes up like they're transforming to Super Saiyan. But the color of their hair is different. Instead of the usual Super Saiyan gold, it turns into something else. And their power is way more intense, shaking the entire Earth. And this is where we'll leave off this part. What did you guys think of this part? And what do you think will happen next? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it. And subscribe to the channel. It will support me and it will support the channel. Anyways, I'm DBZ Anarchy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.